Hey everyone, guess who's back? Both of us, actually. Welcome back to the Retro Gamers podcast. Larry here.
And Anthony here. Why, were you gone?
I was for a little bit, just for a tad. I got lost on the way home.
Didn't even notice.
No, yeah, well, you know, like my clothes, it took me a long time to find my way back to New York.
Well, you know, did your clothes make it yet?
No. No, they haven't.
Somebody stole your dirty laundry.
I mailed, pull the curtain back, and again, welcome everybody. When I was in LA, and it was a wonderful time in Los Angeles, I liked it a lot, I figured, because I bought some, as we showed when we recorded from LA, I needed room in my travel bag, what do you call it, suitcase. So I decided, you know what, because I was heading back to my parents' house, so I figured, you know what, I'm going to ship some clothes back to my parents, because once I get there, I'll wash them. And they were dirty clothes. I'm telling you right now, dirty T-shirts, dirty pants, dirty underwear, dirty socks, everything. So, but not overly soiled. So anyway, so I mailed them back, put them in a regular package. Now, I think, Anthony, you've mentioned on 3 separate occasions how you've had an issue with the post office.
Yes, I have.
Now, did you mail those 3 said packages from the actual post office we went to?
No.
Okay. All right, so this is now just a California thing.
No, this has happened to me from New York as well.
But it's somehow California.
It's a me thing. The United States Post Office hates me.
Probably Frank.
And I think Frank may have my picture up in all of them. I don't know.
Don't accept checks from this man. So I threw it all into a priority mail. If it fits, it ships. Threw it all in there. Admittedly, we jammed it in. Had a little, had to really seal it up.
That we did.
And then mailed it. And they said pretty much in like 3 business days. Now, that Thursday was Thanksgiving, so I'll give it 4 because I mailed it on a Monday. So I'll allow 4 days, with Friday. We're now, as of recording, over a week and a half later. At this point, the tracking just says, hasn't been scanned in a couple of days. No one knows where my stuff is. And it's slightly annoying because they were some, like, when I say exclusive T-shirts, like, Brooklyn exclusive wrestling shirts that were only available at that time in Brooklyn.
Yep.
So that's going to be annoying.
Oh, well, I'm very sorry for your potential losses.
Ugh.
I was but is it at all possible that because it was dirty laundry and it was your dirty laundry, that maybe there was like a scent or a smell coming out of it, so it's actually at like the Pentagon or Department of Homeland Security or something?
I'm not putting that past them. Look, I'm not saying that's not the case, all right? All I'm saying is that if someone did steal the package, they're going to be very unhappy as to what they find in there.
Unless they're a wrestling fan.
This is true, but again, layered. So, but luckily, I only did the clothes, not the gaming stuff. That's actually still in my suitcase. But
you haven't unpacked yet?
Well, I mean, I unpacked, but I really have no place to put that stuff right now. I mean, I am jammed. So
yeah, we can all tell that you're jammed, but still,
soon.
I mean, you've been home for like almost 2 weeks at this point.
This is true, but technically not at the apartment because then I went. The reason why I was gone last week because I was in Brooklyn, had to take care of some obligations and appearances. So
I can only imagine where you went.
Did what I had to do. So, but I'm back now, and Josh, thank you very much as usual for being on the show, for covering when one of us is out. Josh, always good people over there at Victims and Villains, and I do want to mention one thing, and then we can truly start the show. You were talking about birthdays, retro birthdays.
Yes, I was.
And the two of you, very quickly bypassed the game, which in my opinion is truly one of the best platformers that has ever been released on any system. I don't care what system it is. I don't care what color it's in. Telling you right now.
Oh, I think I know which one you're talking about.
Yes. Your shirt says it all. Wario Land for the Virtual Boy. I challenge anyone who has played that game to tell me it is not a fantastic side-scroller. And really nothing that they can't do on the 3DS.
So for all 12 people who played it on the Virtual Boy, I encourage you to contact us at the Retro Gamers and tell us your experiences with Wario Land.
It's when you come in, I'm going to have you play Wario Land.
I can't.
Well, I mean, before...
And you won't be able to either.
Well, there's no guarantee.
I'm winning the contest and I'm destroying that Virtual Boy.
There's still time.
There's going to be no Wario Land whatsoever. In fact, if I see the Wario Land with it, I'm going to destroy that too.
We still have a month.
Yep, we have a month, and trust me, I'm spending all of my money this month on Christmas shopping for others because that's what I do.
That's a terrible thing to do.
Exactly. So I can pretty much guarantee that this contest is locked. It's mine, and boy, oh boy, I cannot wait to get my grubby little hands on that Virtual Boy.
We'll see. So.
Yeah,
which
by the way, we should, maybe now's the time to tell everybody as we are counting down to the end of the year. That Virtual Boy contest will happen in New York with both of us present in the same space.
Yes, and it will be for the world to see, and for the handing of the Virtual Boy when Anthony, for some reason, finds like the first ever. Home console game, the one that did that Space War, buys it for like $5,000 and then just throws the whole thing into a tizzy, and then yours truly would finally be presented with the Virtual Boy that he so longs for.
Hey, you know what? Stranger things have happened. I did do some shopping.
Okay. Well, it was Black Friday, yeah.
Yeah, it was Black Friday. It was Small Business Saturday. So, and I did talk about this last week with Josh. And like you said before, thank you, Josh, so much for filling in last week. You were fantastic on the show, as always. Good old Captain Nostalgia. And so I did some Black Friday shopping, and I talked about we talked about Black Friday. We talked about Small Business Saturday. We didn't get to cover Cyber Monday because we recorded beforehand. However, I was actually quiet this Cyber Monday because I still had a guest in town. My mother was here. We were running around touring the Paramount Studios lot and doing various other things. Cool. So, yeah, and that was actually a lot of fun. It's always great, especially for me. I love learning about the history of film and television. So that's my thing. So that was actually really cool. So unfortunately, Cyber Monday came and went. I did not take advantage of it at all, but there were some really great sales out there.
Yes.
I was very surprised to find out, you posted an article about the Nintendo Switch and how the Nintendo Switch was the best-selling console over Thanksgiving weekend. And not only was it the best-selling console over Thanksgiving weekend, it was the best-selling console in U.S. history over Thanksgiving weekend.
Yes, later on I learned that. Yes. No, that's really cool. And I think,
well, hold on. I was just gonna finish up and say I was actually surprised because PlayStation, and maybe it's because the PS4 has been out for so long and everybody already has it, but that PS4 deal with the Spider-Man game for $199, I'm surprised that was not the best-selling console over the weekend. But I'm just assuming it's because of the fact that PS4 has been out for years. Everybody already has it, or a lot of people have it, so it just couldn't compete with the Switch. And the Switch is only a year and a half old.
I think it was a PS4 Slim, right? If I remember, it wasn't the Pro.
No, it was not the Pro. It was definitely not the Pro.
So, I mean, I can definitely see, because I'm guilty of doing it. When these systems, they always end up coming out with a redesigned, smaller version. I know I always end up buying that version. So, that definitely would be a perfect time to buy, to upgrade, or I guess technically downgrade if it's smaller, to that and get a good game with it. Yeah,
very true. Actually, you just said it yourself, though. You usually buy the slim versions, and I don't. My PlayStation 2, my original PlayStation 2, the big, giant, heavy one, just broke like a couple months ago.
Oh, no.
So I just got my hands on a PS2 Slim.
Oh, just finally?
Yeah, just now. 2018 PS2 Slim.
I've only done one Slim, because I have a silver PS2 Slim right now. So,
oh, nice.
Yeah, which I'm not using, but I feel like I had a regular black PS2 Slim at one point. But that wouldn't make sense why I'd buy silver.
Maybe. Yeah, why would you buy two?
Oh,
wait. Never mind, it's you.
I got the PS1, the redesigned PS1. Yep. So I just put them out originally, people. All right?
Yeah, that's what I don't understand either. It's like, oh, technology advanced so quickly that all of a sudden you can, sell one a third of the original size.
I mean, they usually also jazz it up a little bit, so it's not just the redesign. But of course,
I know, but you know what? My shelves can only hold so many consoles. I need them to be as small as possible at launch.
This is your exact. Well, good thing the Switch is tiny.
Exactly. And you saw my setup here, and I squeezed quite a bunch.
Oh, there's a lot. There's a party going on. But
Yes.
you definitely got everything. You got everything. You got everything. Well, no, you almost have everything accounted for. But you got the retro freaks. So that's going to count for a lot of that.
And that counts a lot. And when you were out here, we did a couple of live streams, which was cool. We did some Super Mario Party. Mm-hmm. We did some Streets of Rage. So that was actually kind of fun.
I got to say, because I really didn't get a chance to use my retro freak. That retro freak, everything ran really good on it. Mm-hmm. The controllers worked well. I think we kind of discovered almost any PC USB controller. Well, maybe not any, but a PC USB controller will work on it. So that's good to know. If anyone gets it. And I keep getting emails that the retro freak is now £100. Well, at least from where I bought it over in England, which is way down from like the $250 I bought it at.
Exactly. And you still need to return it.
It's in a box back there somewhere.
Okay.
So
you can just, you know what, eBay it.
It's lost to the gods. I'm just waiting for the Polymega.
There you go. Well, and I'm looking forward to the Polymega as well. So when that gets here. But just to wrap up all the shopping and everything like that,
what'd you pick up?
We're sitting here now. Cyber Week is almost over as of this recording. Cyber Week is still going on as of today. So there's still an opportunity for us to take advantage of some sales online, which is cool. And they do have some good ones. Super Smash Brothers is coming out.
Yes, I got mine on pre-order.
In about a week and a half.
Yep.
I do not have it on pre-order, so I really have to get on that. Mm-hmm. Did you order the GameCube controller as well?
Not the GameCube controller, because I already have a GameCube controller. But, I mean, I did buy, for the first time, because I didn't use it on the Wii U, I did buy the adapter, the GameCube, which obviously you need. So, and then I tried the GameCube controller on the Wii U, Super Smash Brothers for Wii U. Mm-hmm. I got to admit, I was shocked how different of a gameplay feel it is with the GameCube controller. Because I really didn't start playing Smash Brothers until the Wii U.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
you're late to the game.
We talked about it before. I was not crazy. Like, I didn't like that game when it came out originally. I know you loved it. I
loved it. I loved the one for N64.
Yeah, that's
and I think I had the GameCube one, and then I stopped after that because I didn't buy a Wii. Mm-hmm. So,
but I was not crazy about the N64 version. I just thought it didn't play well. But again, when I got it for Wii U, and I also got it on the 3DS, that's where I was like, all right, I missed out on a lot here. So, that's why I'm looking forward to Ultimate. So,
well, and that's the cool thing about us as retro gamers and everything like that. We get to catch up on these things.
We sure do.
We get to play a lot of games that even games from 20, 30 years ago that we didn't get an opportunity to because we're adults now and we make money and we can spend it as we choose.
Yes, and I have to stop.
Yes, you absolutely do. Especially when when I'm going to basically rip your heart out of your chest at the end of the month.
Oh, wow.
When I destroy that Virtual Boy.
Ouch.
Yeah, it's going to hurt. But anyway,
yes.
I just wanted to show off a few things really quickly.
Okay.
In terms of what I bought. And I talked about this last week with Josh, but since you're back, I thought it would be cooler to go over things that I purchased. Now, these are not things that I bought when you were in town, because we did that already.
Yes, been there, done that.
Right. These are things that I got my hands on either Black Friday or Small Business Saturday.
I'm sure you went back to those stores, though, because the advertisements they had were good deals.
Yeah, and the stores were really good. But first thing I want to show off is that one of my coworkers who used to work for I think it's Jakks Pacific, the toy company.
Ooh, yeah.
So he used to work for Jakks Pacific, and he was responsible for the Nintendo toy line.
Oh, cool.
Basically all of the Nintendo toy line you're seeing on shelf now, he worked on while he was there, which is kind of really cool. So, and every once in a while, when I come into the office, I see stuff sitting on my desk. And he's like, oh yeah. He's like, I went through a bunch of stuff in my garage. I have, I have dupes. So, and he just gives them to me, and I'm very thankful for it. So
Sure.
So, his loss, my gain, or however we want to put it. So anyway, so he gave me a few Nintendo figures, which I'm very happy with. And so the first one is everyone's favorite Star Fox character.
Oh, Slippy, wow.
which is really cool.
And he comes with a bomb.
And he comes with a bomb, which is great. So I got Slippy.
That's awesome.
All right, and then moving on from the world of Mario, can't have a Mario game without Toad.
Oh, cool. Is it a coin that he comes with? Oh, yeah.
Yep. Comes with a coin.
Love
Very
Toad.
nice.
Love Toad. He was my go-to in Super Mario Brothers 2.
He was my go-to. Well, no, I like the princess because she floated.
Yeah, true.
And speaking of princesses, the last one that I got out of this was Princess Zelda from the Wind Waker with an ocarina.
With an ocarina. That's cool.
It's very cool. And then apparently there were 5 figures in the set. I guess this was Series 2. I did not get Skull Kid. See Skull Kid.
Yeah. Oh, God,
but the one that I would love to get my hands on is Cat Mario. So
Super Mario 3D World.
But anyway, so that was from my friend.
Okay.
I'm very grateful to know him, not just because he gives me cool stuff, but because we talk games all the time. Mm-hmm. He was actually the one that I was that I camped out with for the Super Nintendo Classic when it came out. He was it was that guy. So
okay,
what's
cool.
up, Jose? Okay, couple other things I picked up. So GameStop was having a really interesting sale.
They usually do
on Black Friday, and they did. They were doing discounts on games, 2 for 1 on used games, which isn't really that unique because they do that all the time. Like buy 2 used games, get 1 free. I was like, that's normal. But they had merchandise, and they had merchandise for sale for like 30% off, 40% off, and there was a whole Nintendo section.
Merchandising.
So I definitely took advantage of that. First off,
where the real money in the movie is made.
So this was $15.
Okay.
Down from 25, even though it says 25. It's a Super Mario 12 Days of Christmas socks.
You told me about this.
I told you about this, but it's kind of cool.
And very cool.
And then if you look on the back,
those are the
they're
socks?
all socks.
Wait, what are there? 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, there's 8 ankle socks and then 4 regular socks.
Right, 8 ankle socks and 4 regular socks for a total of 12 pairs of socks.
It's just a little hard to see on the camera. What's that first full sock? Oh, it's a bunch of toads. Oh,
it's
mushrooms. Mushrooms. Okay, I see what it is. Yep.
There you go.
I see it now. Yep.
So
that's
that
awesome.
I was actually really happy to find those. And the GameStop that I went into, this was the last one.
Oh.
So I was like, ooh. I was like, okay, so I scored on that. And then this thing, okay, so this was in GameStop, but it's a ThinkGeek item.
Okay. Well, they one in the same now.
Right, they're one and the same. Did not know these existed, and I had to get this because this is going to look awesome on my shelf in the office. But it is a Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past T-shirt from Super Nintendo, which just it's just the standard Super Nintendo box of Link to the Past. But look at the case it comes in.
That's the T-shirt that it comes. The T-shirt comes. Let me try that again. The T-shirt's in there. Oh, look at that!
It's a case that opens up here.
Oh, that is awesome!
And there's a T-shirt inside, and there's the T-shirt.
Oh, that's a cool T-shirt too.
Yeah. This wasn't the only one they had. They also had Super Mario World, and they had Super Metroid.
Oh, wow!
So that was really cool. I had to pick that up. Also on sale. I think I got it for $9.
Wow.
$9 to $10.
Not bad at all.
So, yep, really happy with that. Those were the items. Those weren't the video games that I picked up. So, video game wise, I went back to Game Realms, which we talked about a couple of weeks ago, because they were doing a small business Saturday sale where all retro games were, I think, 20% off.
Something like 20 or 25, yeah.
Yeah, 20 or 25% off. But then they had a case of current games like PS4 or Xbox One and stuff like that, where games were anywhere from 20 to 70% off.
You talked about that with Josh. Yeah, that sounds wild.
Yeah, it was insane. And I wound up not buying anything because as much as I looked through it, I'm like, I have enough games to play. I'll hold off on these, even though the discounts were great. So I only bought like a couple of things. One of them was, we talked about how I'm collecting all the wrestling games. So I wanted to complete my WCW collection on PlayStation. So I grabbed Thunder.
Ooh, all right.
And it looks like it's barely been played,
wow.
which is good because if you play this game once, you've played it too much.
It was a tough game.
It's not a good game.
When I say tough, meaning, it's rough to get through.
And then, so we all know that I'm a big fan of Tomb Raider.
Yes. Hey, I just saw the new movie today.
Oh,
I finally got around to watching it. I liked it. I didn't mind it. It was good. Yeah. I mean, it's based on the 2013 game. A lot of it's pulled from that. Josh, I know he already hates me for this, but I like it better than the Angelina Jolie movies.
Wow.
I do. I thought it was better action, and I just thought it was cooler.
Whatever you say. But anyway, my story with Tomb Raider on the PlayStation is that I have to play things consecutively. Now, I beat Tomb Raider 1 a long time ago, and then I got stuck on Tomb Raider 2. Mm-hmm. Because I never finished Tomb Raider 2, I never played my Tomb Raider 3, and I still own Tomb Raider 3. And because I never got around to doing Tomb Raider 3 because I couldn't beat Tomb Raider 2, I never bought Tomb Raider The Last Revelation, which was the fourth title.
Oh, okay. Ooh, wow. Nice.
So I picked that up. And again, yeah, great condition.
Yep.
Really happy. It's pushing me to want to go back and play through Tomb Raider 2 so I can continue on. Okay. Now for the last two. You brought up a very interesting point when you were here, and we were talking about the Retro Freak.
Okay.
Because I am notorious for not playing any handheld games because I just couldn't stand the smaller screens. And your argument for it is I missed a lot of great games on it. So I started
like
buying
Wario Land on Virtual Boy.
No, handheld. Not trash.
It's a handheld.
Not trash. No. Not red trash.
Designated as handheld. Okay, yes.
Yeah. So anyway, so I missed out on a lot of great games. So I started buying handheld games now, and I've mostly been sticking to Game Gear for some reason.
I saw that. I think because you had a Game Gear.
I think that's what it was. Game Gear was like the only handheld system I ever owned, and I liked it.
It was good. Yeah.
Yeah, so I kind of stuck to it. And we tested some of those Game Gear games on the Retro Freak, and it was pretty good. But now I started going back and looking at what if I were to start collecting handheld games, which are the ones that I would really want to play.
Okay.
So I saw these two at Game Realms. I got them for 20 or 25% off, and they were an absolute no-brainer because everybody knows me and my Zelda. So I picked up Legend of Zelda, Oracle of Ages, and Oracles of Seasons.
Two great games. I remember those games came out at the exact same time. I originally bought, actually I still have Seasons on cartridge, and then I bought Ages when it came out on the Virtual Console on 3DS. And what's cool about it is when you complete one game, whichever one, doesn't matter which one, you get a code, then you put the code into the other game, and you kind of pick up right from there. So it's like one continuous game. Yeah, they were really good.
Yeah, and that's why I grabbed them, because you spoke very highly of them, and let's face it, any Zelda game I want to play.
I'm just going to throw it out. I mean, those are two great games, but if you haven't picked it up yet, Link's Awakening.
Minish Cap? Oh, Link's Awakening.
No, that to me, and I'm putting it up against every other Zelda game. That's in my top 5. Link's Awakening.
Okay.
And at this point,
I'll get around to it.
No, definitely. But at this point, you might as well, if you can try and get Link's Awakening DX. Hopefully, the Game Boy Color games work properly on the Retro Freak, meaning, I mentioned this once before, Link's Awakening DX, if you play it specifically on a Game Boy Color, or even I think the Super Game Boy, you get an exclusive dungeon that's only available on the Game Boy Color.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but definitely look. That one may be a little more expensive because it was a good one, I think. But if you can find it, pick it up.
Which is fine.
Yeah.
But these are Game Boy Color. So
Oh no, those are game. Yeah, what happened? Those are Game Boy Color, but when they're in the clear like that, that's exclusive Game Boy Color. So you can only play it on the. I don't even think you can play it on the Game Boy Advance. I mean, Super Game Boy. The black cartridge Game Boy Colors, those you can play on either the Game Boy Color or the original Game Boy. So,
gotcha.
Yeah.
All right, good to know.
Yep.
But and that's pretty much all. That's all I bought. So again, I was kind of conservative.
Yeah.
I almost bought a Sega CD console. I kept staring at it, but it wasn't 25% off. It was only 10% off, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to hold out.
You're not really. You're not as much of a impulse buyer, I think, as I am. You do sometimes, but not as.
Sometimes I do, but like even when I impulse buy, for the most part, it's something I've kind of wanted.
Yeah.
So like I wasn't planning on picking up these 2 Zelda games the day when I was there. I went there looking for other things, couldn't find them. But then I saw these there, and I'm like, you know what? I go, here's an opportunity. I might as well just grab them now. So I grabbed them.
I remember, I walked into the Apple store. I needed a new keyboard, and I walked out with an iPhone 10. So, it happens sometimes.
No, you are the impulse shopper of the two of us, for sure.
I want to show one thing real quick. This actually someone picked up for me. I thought it was very cute. Could be able to hang it on my very small Christmas tree, which I haven't broke out yet. Yours looks wonderful. This I thought was really cool. Very nice and simple. Super Mario.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, for the tree. I got to get my hands on that Donkey Kong arcade.
And speaking of tree, I'm actually going to step away for a moment to show off a couple of ornaments I picked up for my tree.
Oh, okay.
That I got as birthday gifts. So hold on one second. I'm going to pull them right off the tree right now.
As usual, I will keep everyone at bay. And again, I will let you know that Wario Land for Virtual Boy, I'm telling you, one of top 25 platformers of all time. So definitely check it out. And, let us know how you think of it.
We talked about these, and I actually showed the boxes for them on one of the episodes not too long ago, because I got these as birthday gifts.
Okay.
But I hung Hallmark for 2018 has 2 video game ornaments. One of them is the Donkey. Yeah, two. One of them is Donkey Kong.
Cool.
Right? It's a little Donkey Kong arcade, but there's a little button. When you press it, let me find the button.
Oh, is it battery operated? You got to plug it into a light.
No, battery operated.
Oh, cool.
And the screen lights up. It doesn't move, but...
Oh!
Yeah.
Oh, that is awesome. Imagine that going off in the middle of the night.
Yeah. And it goes for a while.
Yeah. That's where it's got to end.
Yep.
That's awesome.
So that's the Donkey Kong ornament, which is awesome. I absolutely love this. Yep. This thing looks
is
great.
It heavy?
So, it's definitely got some weight to it.
All right.
But if you love video games, this is definitely something you want to, especially original Donkey Kong, you want to get your hands on this. And then there's the Zelda one, which I also opened. And here's a link.
Oh, yeah.
On the original one. Now, again, there's a little button.
I don't remember doing that last time you showed it.
No, because I never took them out of the box.
Oh, wow. Whoa, that's another one that goes long.
It goes for a while. So, so that was actually a nice little bonus when I opened them up and put them on the tree. I'm like, wait, why did these have, these have batteries? And then they just went off, and I'm like, okay, these are awesome. So, I just wanted to share that since you brought up Christmas ornaments.
Oh, man, it's the happiest time of the year.
For some, yes.
Yes, totally. Yes. All right, cool. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
But, and then one other thing I wanted to bring up before we get into what we're actually going to talk about today, even though we're talking about other stuff.
Right.
You missed our poll results from last week because we posted a poll on Facebook.
Yes.
Asking people if they wanted to see or hear or watch us live stream or whatever current games along with retro games.
Mm-hmm.
When you were here, we did a test run. We played Super Mario Party for the Switch.
Yep.
Which was great. The poll closed, and the results were actually surprised. I was actually surprised overwhelmingly that people want to see more current game coverage on top of our retro game coverage.
All right.
So, now I guarantee that we're going to stay on par with everything as it gets released? No. I was like, but nope. I think it's safe to say that we're going to start introducing, probably more so in 2019, we'll start introducing more current generation consoles and games that we're playing with that, because, we're retro gamers, but we're current gamers too. And like I said last week, I've been obsessed with a lot of current games that I play online right now, like Dead by Daylight and Friday the 13th and stuff like that. So it'll be cool to actually talk about some current games as well.
No, I'm looking forward to that, because there are a lot of current games that I play, and let's face facts, there's a lot of new news about new games than new news about old games. So
that is very true. Although we're getting a lot of new news about old games because retro is becoming very popular now. But we're getting mini consoles left and right. Yep. Just old game, the Nintendo Switch Online, with their
suing people, and then Nintendo now allowing people to create content, and now allowing to monetize. But then, you gotta be careful, because then the old news becomes the old news with the old systems, and then the new news with the new games allow for the old news with the old games with the new news becomes old at some point.
Yes. But anyway.
I was waiting for that.
So anyway, but with all the, and especially with all the classics that have been coming out, we've got the NES Classic, the SNES Classic, the C64 Mini, the Neo Geo Pocket, the Neo Geo Mini, whatever the hell they call it.
The Neo Geo Pocket was an actual system, but yes, the Neo Geo Mini, which I really regret
the Neo Geo Mini. I mean, everybody's coming out with a Mini. At Games is making those crappy Sega Genesis ones.
PC Mini.
The PC Mini, which was a total surprise.
Yeah.
And then, of course, once this episode drops, I believe it will actually be the launch day, if I'm not mistaken, or it's already actually the launch day. It'll be after the launch day of the Sony PlayStation Classic.
That's actually right. The PlayStation Classic officially launches on the 3rd of December.
Yep. And the reason why it launches on the 3rd of December is because it's coinciding with the anniversary of when the PlayStation was first released in Japan on December 3rd, 1994. So the PlayStation Classic drops on December 3rd, 2018, which is actually a Tuesday, and when this episode drops.
Or am I wrong? Yes,
no, it's Monday.
No, wait.
No, it's Monday.
First, it is a Monday, yeah.
It's a Monday. I'm sorry. I'm all thrown off.
It's okay.
But anyway, yeah, it's a Monday, so it's the day before this episode drops. So
what you're telling me, I just want to understand this correct. I'm not going to go through the new old stuff again. But what you're telling me is that the PlayStation Classic releases on December 3rd, which means it's on the shelves available for store purchase on the 3rd, which finally means if you ordered one online, they should be shipping it now for you to receive it on Monday.
That's my understanding.
Then how did this come in the mail today?
Ooh.
Let me just get the mic out of the way.
I think that might have been them trying to make up for your lost clothes.
Thank you, Target.
Yes,
that's right.
I guess Target jumped the gun a little bit.
Definitely.
And as everybody knows, I don't know if I officially announced it last week or not. I did cancel my pre-order for the PlayStation Classic because after much deliberation, I had decided it just didn't have enough for me to warrant a purchase. It would have made a nice paperweight on my shelf, but I just didn't want to pull the trigger.
There's a lot of people online saying that, because I'm sure, obviously I'm not the only one who got it early. A lot of people say not just forget the game lineup, because I'm still standing by it. Look, I'm not saying it's the perfect lineup. I'm not saying it's a great lineup. It's a good lineup. But look, like I said, there's always going to be some hits and misses on any of these. But apparently there may be some other issues, frame rate issue maybe. just the kind of, I saw something like a bare bones interface. So what we're going to do on the second half, not ready just yet, but on the second half of this show, we're going to go ahead, well, we're going to try to, actually boot this up, hook it up, and play it, basically do a stream of the PlayStation Classic. Now, I haven't opened this yet. All I did was take it out of the shipping box. As you can see, the seal is still there. What I'd like to do now with Anthony here as well, now I want to do, this is our first, I guess, official kind of sort of unboxing of a system.
Yes, it is.
Because I really want to see what's in, I mean, we all know what's in here, but let's see what it actually looks like.
There's a PlayStation Classic in there.
Watch is like an actual like PS1 mini. You know, like the redesigned one.
Yeah, you know, I would play some PlayStation related music for you, but all I have are my Christmas ornaments in front of me. So
just keep hitting the button.
Yeah, here you go.
Not even the right system.
It doesn't fit with the PlayStation at all. But what the hell?
All right. So
I can't stop it.
No, you can't.
Can I? Oh no, I can.
Oh, all right.
I have the power.
You just don't want to. Okay.
Of course not.
So, you know, I'm going to be honest with you. I for a minute recently, I thought about canceling this, but for no other reason than just money. But I'm happy I got it because, yeah, you know, it's turning out I'm getting a collection of minis. So, which I kind of
like. And that's cool.
Yeah.
I have all of mine, including my that Famicom manga 50th anniversary mini.
I know. Very jealous.
I've yet to open that box.
Don't.
I'm not.
Okay. All right. So
can't play any of those games anyway.
You know, I got to back up here for a moment to give really some.
Must show
here. Oop. All right. Let me just do that. Okay. So. Oh, all right. Cute. All right. Got the logo on the box.
Very nice.
So very cool. So we're gonna open this. Open that. It's like one of those Russian nesting dolls. Okay.
Never-ending box.
No, for real. There is another box.
Oh, wow.
Oh, there it is. Okay. Wow. That is... Oh, man. That is tiny. Okay.
How tiny are we talking?
45% tinier than the original system. I wish I had the original. I know you have it. I don't, because I have the redesign, the PS1 when it came out, when they shrunk it. But
yes.
Here, wow, this is... It's so adorable. Here, let me just take it out of the...
Put it on screen.
No, I'm going to take it out of the plastic so the glare isn't over there.
Okay. We're all holding our breath. Oh,
that new
sorry
system
for 1 second. That would be plastic.
Oh. Okay. Here we go.
Hey, it's a PlayStation.
It's tiny.
Wow, that's really small.
As we're all getting used to it, but yeah. It's a small system.
USB inputs?
Yep, right? No, yep, totally USB, but it won't take other controllers. It'll just take the ones that are in here that I still got to unbox.
Well, that's what they say.
You got your power button, your reset, your open.
Does the eject button open the top?
It does not. It does not.
Bummer.
Oh, and, you know, I reported on this before. There is, like, an external port, the old external port.
Mm-hmm.
Where I used to plug in my memory card that was like equal like 35 memory cards.
Yep.
But that is just for show. That does not open.
That stinks.
But you have HDMI, USB.
Okay. Very cool.
Actually, what I got, you know, this is such a small thing, but I actually like this. The bottom of it's got like little felt feet.
Oh, nice.
So it doesn't scratch up whatever you put it on.
Well, that's very considerate of them.
Yeah. All right. So that's cool. I like that. And you know what? It's like still proportionate with the other minis. So
okay.
I do. Focus. Okay. All right. So that's the system. So now let's break into this. How do I open this? There we go. Do that. I feel like a Tomb Raider trying to break into this thing. Okay.
You definitely aren't a Tomb Raider because you've never played it.
I played it a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
All right. The box. So as we have your standard, just adding to the collection of HDMI wires. So that's fun. That's good.
Must have.
It comes with the USB Mini, which is basically coming standard on stuff. This, and the box actually says it right on the outside too. It does not come with an actual AC adapter. Because everyone's got one, so I don't blame them for not putting one in. And most likely you can hook it into your television anyway, so it don't matter.
Exactly.
All right, here we go. This is what I'm talking about. The PlayStation controllers. These are the original design, not the DualShock.
Now, but are they miniature versions?
Nope. These feel. Do I have
like the regular size?
Oh, I don't have it in front of me. Yeah, no, these feel regular size. I mean, my hands are bigger now than they were back then. It feels light. It feels good. It feels like the original controllers. The buttons are responsive. Definitely responsive. And here's your little USB plug.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
And, of course, a second one. You know what? Let's check this out, which has become usually a problem with these minis. Let's check the length of the cord.
Yeah, the cord length, especially for the NES Classic, was just terrible.
That was ridiculous.
That was absolutely terrible.
We kind of put two and two together when I was there in LA. I guess the cord on the Super NES mini controller is a little shorter than it used to, than the original controller.
It might be, but the cord's definitely longer for sure.
Oh no, this has got some healthy length to it.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
okay.
I don't have the exact specification, but
5 feet maybe.
Sure.
4 or 5 feet.
Let's call it 5 feet.
Okay, that works.
All right, and then just that. Get this. Put that down there. All right, take that.
What?
Take that. Yep. Plug it in.
You're doing that off screen. There you go.
There it goes. And look at that. It looks just like it used to.
Very nice.
Look at that.
It's really small.
It'd be awesome if they included little mini memory cards.
Oh, yeah, that would be cool. But alas.
All right, so from a here, let me. Darn it! All right, hold on. Everything's falling apart on me now. There we go. So, all right. So, from an aesthetic point of view, I have to say I like it. You know, it falls in line with all the other ones.
Okay.
You know, no problem there. The controller feels great. The system feels great. The buttons are what they are. Okay. And, yeah, I gotta say, I'm really looking forward to booting this up, seeing what, the internet was designed for people to complain. So we'll see what this is all about, and I think we will do that. It even has, I don't think you'll be able to see it, but it has the, like the bumps on the top, like if you're not looking to feel where to press down. So it even has that. I like that.
Oh, I remember that. That's cool.
Attention to detail.
All right, so the detail's there, but now we need to find out how it plays.
Yeah.
So when we come back, Larry, you're gonna hook this thing up, and we're gonna do a little live stream on our episode record.
Yes.
Of you playing, just testing out the Sony PlayStation Classic.
Focus.
Well, Larry, I kind of already gave this one away based on our stuff we were talking about in our previous segment, but we are here to celebrate a very special retro birthday. And as I said a few minutes ago, we have the retro birthday of the Sony PlayStation console. It was released in Japan on December 3rd, 1994.
Oh, okay.
So,
all right.
So we're talking 24 years old. It is celebrating its 24th birthday, the Sony PlayStation. Now, it came out a year later in North America, September 9th, 1995. So we had to wait a little while, like we always do. Japan always gets everything first. Now, a console is nothing without its games. So
this is true.
We also need to recognize the games that came out at launch with the Sony PlayStation and wish them a very special retro birthday as well. And what's interesting about this, though, is that when I go through the list, I'm actually surprised the PlayStation was as popular and successful as it was based on the launch titles, because I'm a little confused on the things that were selected.
Is it maybe lost in translation?
Probably.
Okay.
So I'm just going to go through the list really quickly.
Sure.
So all of these games are 24 years old. They came out with the Sony PlayStation in Japan on December 3rd, 1994.
Yeah.
The first one was called the A4 Evolution, which was a train tracks management game.
Okay.
So I guess kind of like a Sim City.
That's what I'm thinking.
Kind of game, but with trains.
Yeah, sim trains. I'm sure.
Yeah, there you go. There was a first-person shooter that came out.
Okay.
Called Crime Crackers.
Okay.
We have 2 different versions of Mahjong.
Hey, boy, the Japanese love their Mahjong.
Mahjong is a big thing there. We had Mahjong Goku Tenjin and Mahjong Station Mazi.
Okay.
Okay. We had Parodius for PlayStation.
Oh, side-scroller.
Which was a side-scrolling shooter, and it actually consisted of 2 Parodius games on it that were released in the arcade from Konami. Got that. We got a racing game that actually I do remember ported to the US called Ridge Racer.
Oh, well, one of them is on this thing that we're going to try
it's
out in a
on
moment.
The PlayStation Classic. And then this one I love this one for the title. Tama Adventurous Ball in Giddy Labyrinth. So it's
no words.
Okay, so it's basically a remember the board game Labyrinth where you put the ball in on the wooden labyrinth and you had to move it around. So yeah. Okay, I think that's what this game is.
Honestly,
yes. It's a video game version of that.
Yeah.
And then last but not least, I saved this one for the end. Neketsu Oyako for PlayStation. Why did I save this to the end? Well, here's the description. Middle-aged housewife Seiko Hibino has a secret. She's actually a Nobel laureate theoretical physicist who devised a completely new type of antimatter fusion reactor at only 17 years old.
Good for her.
But when a band of no-good bad guys calling themselves the Haraguru-dan find out, they figure she's perfect to help them complete their ultimate secret doomsday weapon and kidnap her.
As they do.
Her family's not going to take this lying down, though, and immediately take up arms, setting out to free her by whatever means necessary.
Please tell me it's a side-scroller.
It is a side-scrolling beat-em-up in the tradition of Final Fight.
Is it really?
Yes.
Oh, man. All right, now I got to get my hands on this thing.
So, there are 3 characters to choose from. Seiko's husband, former pro wrestler Rondo.
Rondo.
Their fighting prodigy daughter, Rio.
Rio, okay.
And Seiko's freeloading research assistant, Toritaro Manoa.
Freeloading assistant. What assistant isn't freeloading?
I don't know, but just based off that description, I want this game. I'm curious. Did that come out on the PlayStation Classic in Japan? Because if it did, I want that copy.
I don't know. We're going to have to find out.
Anyway, those were the games that were released for the Sony PlayStation at launch in Japan, and that is this week's Retro Birthday.
All right, so we are back on the flip side, and as you can see, things look a little different right now.
Yep, they do. First off, you can't see me and you can't see Larry.
No, thank goodness. But you can see this is the start. This is the first time. That's a lie. This is the one of the times I'm booting up the PlayStation Classic for the first time. Obviously, it's asking for the language. I'm not really sure the difference between English United States and English United Kingdom, but we will go with the good old US of A.
Okay.
So let's hit that. Actually, I'm going to try something. Let me do this because I want you to see the opening.
Hit the reset button.
That's exactly what I'm going to do. You can't use the reset button in the home screen. How dare you?
Okay, well, there you go. Well, let's just dive into it and see what we find. So, for those of you who are watching us on YouTube, you're actually watching the PlayStation Classic boot up.
Hold on. I'm going to do it right now. Here it comes.
Very cool.
Yeah, buddy. All right, console button guide. What do we got? Change virtual disks. There's only like 3 or 4 games that's going to do that. Quit the game, go to home screen, which I don't know why everyone keeps complaining about the quit, hit reset to quit the game. You have to do that on like every other mini anyway. So I don't know why people are complaining about that.
I think it's just because it has to do with the fact that you have to get up and do it.
But no one complained about it on the other ones.
Understandable.
See important health and safety warnings. I feel they do that on every place. Hey, here it is. Wow, it gets right into it. Okay.
All right. So you just so basically, after you boot up and it gives you a couple of instructions, you just go right into the main menu. And the main menu, for those of you who are just listening to the podcast,
flip over to YouTube. This is going to be a YouTube portion, to be honest with you.
Yeah. But no, I mean, just explaining it to people. I think we can do that for the podcast part. But basically, you're just seeing the cover images of each game that's on the PlayStation Classic, and you get to cycle through them basically in a circular manner.
Which now, look, a lot of people. This is one of the complaints people had. Very simplistic menu screen. Mm-hmm. The PlayStation had a simplistic menu screen. The original PlayStation. It has that color splash where it says play. Same as the original basically the same as the original PlayStation. Mm-hmm. Before we get into the games, though, let's just see some of the settings. We have health and safety, screensaver. That's good to have. Power. Okay, basic stuff.
Okay.
Power save settings, restore defaults, yada, yada, yada. Guides is what it is. The memory cards. Now, of course, this is a virtual memory card. Oh, and
it looks exactly the way an original memory card did. Because if you remember how the memory card was, it would have a mini image or icon for each game that you saved, and it was a square.
Which looks like it's going to be here as well.
Right, and you were able to fit roughly 15 squares per memory card, and that's exactly what they show on the memory card screen, which is kind of cool.
And then resume point. Press the reset button during gameplay to save the current state as a resume point. Okay, so I'm assuming that means only one resume point. Unlike the Nintendo Minis that have like 4 save slots per game.
Right. But I will say, based on the main menu screen, I mean, I understand what you were saying, Larry, in terms of the PlayStation menu screen was very basic. I'm like, and this one is equally basic. However, when you look at the other minis that came out, like the NES Classic, SNES Classic, even though the games were a lot more simplistic, they still kind of gave you a menu screen that had some presentation to it. There was a little appeal to it. I know, like NES and the SNES had music, and when it came on, it felt a little more joyful.
Okay, I get it.
This one's like just very, very basic.
But here's the thing. Here's how I feel. Nintendo, like the music you hear when you boot up the NES and the SNES classics, like it's Nintendo music. There are games by Nintendo that like the music or even the style of music sounds familiar. Whereas there really wasn't anything like Sony. Like I'd be honest with you, looking at these games, I really can't think of any of these games where the music would pop out at me.
No, but I just think music in general would be appealing in some way, shape, or form. I mean, even if it's like if you're just pulling score from Final Fantasy VII or from Metal Gear Solid, at least something playing so that it at least starts the experience off right. That's all.
So just real quick, let's just cycle through the games real fast. You hear me flipping. That's me flipping through them. So Battle Arena Toshinden, Cool Borders 2. I'm just going to run through these. Everyone already knows them. Destruction Derby, Final Fantasy VII. That's going to be one I'll get. The original Grand Theft Auto. I haven't played this in '97. I thought it came out a tad earlier. Okay. Intelligent Cube. I never played, but I may have played it.
I played that a long time ago.
Maybe that's where I played it, your house.
Probably.
Jumping Flash with a friend of mine and a listener to the podcast, Mario, actually says he's played a lot of this. So,
okay.
Looking forward to that one. Someone's already bored. Metal Gear Solid, looking into that one. Mr. Driller. I love Mr. Driller. Great game. I had it on the original PlayStation. We'll play a little bit of that in a minute. Oddworld, Abe's Odyssey, Rayman, Resident Evil, the director's cut. And it's funny because the box the little icon of the box actually says like probably there was a demo of Resident Evil 2 when it came out.
Yes, that came with that director's cut. Mm-hmm.
Revelations, Persona, Ridge Racer Type 4, Super Puzzle Fighter 2 Turbo, Siphon Filter, great game.
Yep.
Tekken 3, of course. Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six, Twisted Metal Classic, and of course, Wild Arms. What's also missing from this is the ability to add what do you want to call it? Filters, like CRT filter and stuff like that.
Yeah, they don't. They don't do like the scan lines, or they don't expand to 699. It's just they exist as they are.
Isn't too bad because really the PlayStation. I don't think I've ever hooked the PlayStation up through coax. So
right,
yeah. All right, so let's dive into something simple real quick. I'm going to go to Mr. Driller because it's basically a puzzle, but I just want to see how everything goes, how it boots up. So
that's fair.
Here we go, Mr. Driller. Yes, the original PlayStation boot up.
Yes, I love the original PlayStation.
That's how you knew the game worked. If that thing didn't show up, man, you were.
That's right. It would just stop on that first screen.
Never go. The town is being overrun by
colored blocks.
Let me lower this a little bit. Oh, all right. Calm down. There we go. Okay, that still seems ridiculously loud.
Nope, it's just right.
You know what? It's because it's coming through my headset as well. So, okay. It's in 4:3 ratio, which I like.
Good, that's where it should be.
Wow, I gotta take my headsets off. Hold on. Okay. I mean, I can still hear you, but... I mean, this is it. You know, looking at the game, so far, the feel of it, the feel with the controllers... Everything's running smooth. The game itself is running smooth. Oh, man.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm just going to get through just the first part here. No!
And you squashed yourself.
The pressure. Basically, you just got to get through just make your way down.
Yep, so Larry's just doing a playthrough of Mr. Driller really quickly, just to show an example of one of the games on here. I mean, it doesn't look bad.
No, it's running really good. The frame rate's doing just fine. I don't know. One of the biggest complaints.
One of the biggest complaints has been that, like, I think almost half of the games on this thing are the PAL version, and the PAL version actually runs at 10 frames per second less than the standard US version.
It's running good. I mean, he's looking responsive. All right,
and you know what? Mr. Driller may not be one of those games that came out as a PAL version. So,
all right, let's see. Let's hit reset. All right, and the resume point automatically pops up. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, maybe you do get one resume per game because the little resume box.
There it is.
But when you go off Mr. Driller, it clears. So maybe you do get one.
Yeah, you get one per game.
Yeah. All right. Look, you know what? I mean, that was real quick. I didn't dive into a heavy game like Final Fantasy or anything like that. I got controllers responsive. It looks good on my television. I don't know. Sometimes it may get a little filtered out with the capture device I'm using, but I gotta say, yeah.
I'm curious though. If you play a game like Twisted Metal, which I feel like is one of those games that relied on the analog more than the crosshair, and I know that's another point of contention with this system, is that the controllers don't have the analog. And granted, it would have cost more to put them on the controllers, but it's also harder to control games that needed the analog as opposed to just a crosshair. So like if you tried playing a game like a Twisted Metal or a Grand Theft Auto or something that actually did take full advantage of the analog, is it going to be more problematic?
I don't think... Well, hold on. I don't think the analog... Well, Twisted Metal came out in 95, so I don't think the analog came out in 95. But I know what you're talking about. Metal Gear Solid, that's really the one. Because the analog came out around Metal Gear Solid, which was 1998, and yes, using the analog was a world of difference in Metal Gear. But let's try. But I want to try Twisted Metal because that's more going to be of a graphically driven. You know what I mean? Like a hardware driven game.
Well, let's see what it looks like.
Let's boot it up. I feel like if you play all these games in one sitting, the PlayStation boot up screen is going to get annoying.
Well, it should just basically start yelling at you. Or it just packs up and goes away. So
here we go.
We're waiting for okay. So they don't even speed up the boot screen. They keep it as it is.
Yeah.
Because for a moment there was just dead silence because we just saw a black screen and we were waiting for something to show up.
Mm-hmm. All right, big fire, Twisted Metal hitting. Again, for a game from 1995. So far, so good. Yeah, it's going to look grainy because that's the game.
Yeah, I mean, the graphics are going to be an issue. See, and that's where...
I don't call this an issue.
Well, no. What I mean is this is where I feel like Sony, there could have been a little more effort put in terms of smoothing out the graphics so they don't look as polygonal as they do because... Let's face it, when you look at PlayStation 1 games, especially the older ones, the polygons are very, very sharp. And if you're playing this on a bigger screen, it's going to be more apparent.
All right. You know what? I mean, look, the game looks like it did in 1995. The game looks like it did on the PlayStation. These systems were never meant to be graphical upgrades of the games. Again,
no, I understand that, but I'm talking about like on the main screen, like giving it as an option, like the same way the NES has like the scan lines and things like that. I'm not saying that they needed to.
I got you.
Yeah, exactly. Not to upgrade them automatically, but just give you the option to upgrade them automatically.
I mean, it's funny too because I tend to downgrade the graphics on the minis.
Yeah, because you want it to look authentic.
I do, yeah.
But yeah, so basically, you're just playing through Twisted Metal, and it's just exactly what it is.
Okay. See, yeah. Look, even in the options menu, it doesn't even have doesn't show the analog, which is kind of funny.
No. Well, and
actually,
again, this is a game from '95. It wouldn't have had the analog.
That's not even a real PlayStation controller because look at the X. There's like a hole in the middle of the X. I think they're using like a third-party controller.
Oh wow. That's kind of weird.
That's pretty funny. All right, let's reset that. And then, so now it should be... all right, so there's a resume point there. Let's go back to Mr. Driller. See if
all right, so Twisted Metal has a resume point. Now, where's Mr. Driller?
That one. Okay, so each one has one resume point.
Now, the question becomes, do those resume points disappear when you shut it off?
Well, let's find out. I'm going to turn it off and turn it back on real quick.
Yep.
Otherwise, I think this whole recording is going to go nuts.
Yeah, because I think that it's possible that if you didn't do a save state, that once you shut this off and turn it back on, you're gonna lose where you left off.
Good call.
Because I think each game in their menu gives you an option to save.
Nope, still there. Look, Mr. Driller.
Oh yeah, there it is.
Actually, it came up as Mr. Driller, but that's also. Here's the thing: when the system is off. Mm-hmm. There's remember like where the power light was on the PlayStation, like right below the power button?
Yes.
When it's plugged in and it's off, it goes into standby mode, an orange. So I wonder if like if you completely unplug the whole thing, if the save state goes away. Just out of curiosity, I'm wondering.
Yeah, it's a good question. But let's check out something else. Larry, I want you to jump into. I know it's a big ask, but let's jump into Final Fantasy VII. Let's see the big guns. I'm just curious to even see the open.
Okay.
And now, so Final Fantasy VII, definitely hands down one of my favorite RPG games of all time. If anything, Final Fantasy VII was what maybe really solidified RPG as one of my favorite genres of gaming.
Okay. Still waiting for the remake.
Yeah, it's next year.
Hopefully.
Supposedly.
The sound...
We'll get Kingdom Hearts 3 first.
Boy, I haven't seen that logo in a while. Squaresoft.
Wow. Yeah, Squaresoft before Square Enix.
It's funny. I didn't realize Square Enix had anything to do with Tomb Raider because when I was watching the movie, it said Square Enix. Sound-wise, sounds good.
Yep, I remember that very well.
So right now, because you played this more than I did as far as Final Fantasy VII.
Oh yeah, there's no question about it.
How is this coming across so far? Looks familiar?
Nope, straight authentic. Looks good to me.
Gonna hit start.
Yeah, I must have put 60 to 70 hours into this game.
Sure, let me continue a game I haven't... No, it won't let me.
Well, let's start the new game and see what happens. Sound. That start sound is very familiar.
Here we go. Space, the final frontier.
Final frontier.
These are the voyages of Babylon 5.
But yeah, I mean, this looks, it looks like a lift of the PlayStation game.
Just a pure, right out of the box, which, again, all of these are supposed to be. So far, I'm not saying this is, my mind is blown from this thing. I'm not saying this is the best of the minis or the best of the classic consoles as far as game quality. But as far as presentation, all I expect from these is exactly what we're seeing. I think there's some audio coming up, some dialogue, right? Wait, did they talk in this?
There should be music. No, they don't talk in this game. It's just music.
I'm getting what I expected this to do. I do not have a problem with this.
No, and you know what? And I understand that. Look, here's the way that I boil it down to. When you're looking at these classics that come out, the general idea behind them is that they're gonna give you the best representation of these retro consoles. So when you turn on the NES Classic, you're gonna see Super Mario Brothers, Super Mario Brothers 2, Super Mario Brothers 3, Legend of Zelda, Adventures of Link. You're gonna see the iconic games that define that system. Same thing happened with the Super Nintendo. When you get to the Sony PlayStation Classic, that's where everybody seems to be faltering, and I feel like it's definitely warranted because it doesn't have all of the truly iconic games that helped define that system and made the PlayStation legendary.
Okay,
it's got a few, but it definitely doesn't have some of the really, really key ones.
Okay, and I think also some of the reasons for that, like we're not seeing Crash on here. Crash just re-released their first 3 games on the new consoles anyway, so they're gonna they're gonna get their money from that.
Right. But again, it's one of those things where it's like,
can I run?
Even putting one Crash Bandicoot on here, one Spyro the Dragon on here, one Tomb Raider on here. How about an actual Street Fighter game? They left that off completely. You got Tekken 3, but you're missing Street Fighter. One of the throw a Street Fighter Alpha on there because that was a solid game.
Again, I feel like because those just came out, like on compilations. Same with Spyro. Spyro Trilogy just came out. So I feel like maybe, and I'm not saying this is Sony's decision. Maybe it's those companies' decisions. They look, we just put these out on new consoles that we can make a lot more money on, as opposed to having to share the wealth by adding it to a PlayStation Classic.
Right. Well, and that's what it ultimately comes down to. It comes down to the licensing fees and cost. Like, in other words, the more third-party games you put on a system, the more it's going to cost you. The more it's going to cost your bottom line because you gotta pay these people for them. Where Nintendo made their bread and butter for the most part making first-party games. So when they come out with these classics, all of the iconic games on it are on there because they made them. So you're looking at a Sony PlayStation that most of the games on there that are memorable are third-party games, if not all are third-party games. Yeah. Castlevania Symphony of the Night. The fact that it's missing from here to me is like just
that one
unforgivable.
But again, they just came out on the PS4 again.
I know, totally get it. But again, it's one of those things that's like if all of those games were being re-released on the PS4, right? Maybe this wasn't the best time to come out with the PlayStation Classic. If that was the actual issue. And I honestly don't think the issue was that they were being released separately on the PlayStation 4. I just think the issue comes down to the licensing rights and how much they would have had to pay in residuals to people for all these consoles that were sold. It comes down to the bottom line with it for me. And unfortunately, that's where I feel like this suffers the most, because when I turn on the PlayStation Classic, I'm looking for Tomb Raider, I'm looking for Castlevania, I'm looking for Crash Bandicoot, and I'm not finding any of them. And I just think that's part of I think that's the biggest issue with this console. Is the main screen basic? Yeah. Does it ultimately matter? Not really, because the whole idea behind these are the games. You're buying them to play the games. And if you're and if you look at this list of 20 and you're happy with the 20 that are on there, then fine. This is the mini console for you. I was like, for me, when I look at this, I see maybe 3 games that I remember fondly that I played fondly, and then there's the rest. So for me, it's still like it just doesn't justify itself to purchase. If they came out with another mini that had your Castlevanias, your Tomb Raiders, your even Resident Evil, like they put Resident Evil Director's Cut on there, since they were already going in that direction, I think Resident Evil 2 should have been a shoe-in on this. And I don't think there's an issue with having 2 games from the same franchise on these. Mm-hmm. So I really do feel like it's always going to come down to the games that exist on these things, and I gotta say I don't agree with the choices they made.
All right, I hear you. I want to try and save it. When can you save in this game?
You have to find a save state.
Oh.
Well, Larry, just hit the reset button. No, I mean, it's not like you're really getting into the game. No.
I want to see what the the virtual memory card look like.
Gotcha.
All right.
You may want to use another game for that, but but again, just based on what I'm seeing here, it's a standard classic. There's nothing super fancy about it, but it ultimately comes down to the games. If these are the games you remember on the PlayStation, I recommend you pick this up because you're going to get them all in one shot.
Also, if you never played any of these, pick this up because it's a bunch of games in one shot.
Yeah, there's also that as well. I mean, when you pare it down, it comes out to $5 a game. I'm like, that in and of itself is a deal. You're getting 20 games, $5 each.
Mm-hmm.
So for that, it's worth it in and of itself. But if you were a PlayStation owner and you don't see the games that you want on there, it's a very easy decision to pass this up.
And that goes with all the classics. So
exactly,
yeah.
So I think that's I don't know what else do we want to show or say about this at this point.
Well, I mean, since it's here, I'm the one who's playing it, meaning I got the hands-on it. Again, I'm not saying it's the best classic console out there. It sure is better than the Commodore 64 Classic. I'll tell you that much. But
were you not happy with the C64 Mini?
I just forgot the quality of games that were on a Commodore, and I'm not comparing it to today's games. I know they're from yesteryear, but oofa, those games.
Yeah, I don't think you have. Well, you didn't have a Commodore, did you?
I had a Commodore 64, absolutely.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
No, I thought you were too young for that.
No, I had one. I used to play with the colors, change different colors and everything.
Yes.
But for, as usual, I always feel the complaints online, not necessarily as warranted as they should be. There's really nothing wrong with this. Yes, depends on the lineup. That goes for all of them.
Mm-hmm.
But if you want, in my opinion, if you want Castlevania, they're on, or Spyro or Crash. Just so happens, those compilations came out where you can actually get not only the original games, but 2 others or 1 other. Mm-hmm. So you kind of get more for that money as well. I just want to see what this looks like as far as. Yeah, these are definitely load screens. Right now I'm playing Rayman. I'm playing Rayman because I just want. Oh, wow, this plays awesome. Wow, this almost seems smoother than the original PlayStation. I may have found a game that actually may take advantage of this new of the system. Wow, This is nuts. How do I run? Oh,
you beats me. I don't know.
Okay. The final thing I want to try here real quick, and then we'll close it up. Just for the heck of it, because is there anything on here yet? Oh, there's Rayman. And there's a little Rayman icon.
And there's a little icon in the memory card section. Yes, we have a little Rayman memory card there.
And let's see what happens. Yep, shrinks when you delete it.
That's exactly what it used to do.
Yep. All right, so the final thing...
Yeah, so, I mean, that part's authentic, which is cool.
Final one I want to try. I haven't played this in forever.
The original Grand Theft Auto.
Little top-down GTA.
Yeah. Now, for those of you who are only used to playing anything from Grand Theft Auto 3 and on, if you put your hands on the original Grand Theft Auto, it's a rude awakening because it's completely different.
Wow, even had a piracy thing back then.
Yes, it did. But, the original Grand Theft Auto.
Yes.
Do you see the copyright for BMG music?
Yep. Oh, yeah, it's right. All right, let's see what this is like. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was different. Oh, wow.
They were different. Yep, they were different characters. And you went to different cities.
Yes, that's right. I remember I had GTA 2 on Dreamcast, but I loved, which to me was the first, downloadable content, quote unquote, GTA London, 1969. God, yes, I remember this.
Yeah, this is the good old school top-down look.
Oh, this was a hump.
It was a very difficult game to play. And you could beat people up in this. Again, it's a lot more rudimentary than GTA 3 and on.
How do we get in a car? Here we go.
You can steal the cars. You throw people out. So it's still the same concept. And then there's the music playing in the car, and I think each car, depending on the car you stole, the music changed.
All right,
if I'm not mistaken,
probably. All righty. Well, that's all of that. You know what? I like it. I don't think it's, in my opinion. Do we even want to try and shut this down and get back to our split screen?
We can do that, or we can just wrap this portion up.
All right, and let's keep it on. We'll do that for Final Fantasy.
I'm going to just do it live and see what happens. Here, we've never done this before. Now we've got triple screen.
Uh-oh. Oh, wait, now I got to... All right, I can't see myself, so...
Yeah, but we can see you, so if you're looking at the camera, we see you.
Yay. Okay, so my final opinion on this... It's obviously from a collector's point of view, it's definitely a must-buy. I don't have a problem with the lineup. Yeah, it's not perfect, but it's a good lineup. I think people can definitely get some play out of this, and to me, it's definitely worth a buy. I'm not saying day one, but definitely worth a buy at some point. But with that, let's wrap up this episode because I'm tired.
Yeah, well, and again, I mean, it's as I was saying, it's a bit basic for me. But again, it always comes down to the games. If you want the games, buy it. That's what you're really buying it for. Mm-hmm. The Japanese version, like we were talking about, has some different games on it, correct?
It's got Devil Dice.
It's got Devil Dice, which is a game that I was addicted to when my PlayStation came out. In fact, I still have it. I still have Devil Dice. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this week's episode, I think, Larry. We checked out the PlayStation Classic. We both have different opinions on it. You bought yours. You're happy with it. I didn't buy it. I'm happy with it. So at least we're both happy.
Shocking. It usually doesn't happen.
Yeah. Oh, and my cat wants to say goodnight as well.
I didn't see. Oh, he's not afraid of me anymore?
No, she's not. She seems perfectly happy.
All right. So with that, we're going to wrap it up, folks. Remember, as always, find us everywhere you listen to podcasts. Just do a search for the Retro Gamers podcast. Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, all Retro Gamers podcasts. And hit them with the website.
www.theretrogamers.com.
And if you want to email us, email at theretrogamers.com. And let us know what, from what you saw here, what's your true, honest opinion of the PlayStation Classic. And that's about it, folks. Next week we'll be here before we know it. And with that, we will catch you right here next week on the Retro Gamers Podcast.
Let's see you on the flip side.